Both sides looking to make it 2 wins in 2 games. Harford lost it. Leach had it, spilt away. McManus dragged down. Socket off the ground by Norris out towards the boundary, and it runs across.
Yes, and the Dockers again starting with Jeff White, I should say, in the first ruck. Daniel Banning starting across half forward. Will take the forward rucking Jules. Peter Mann starting right in the full forward area.
Lawrence directs it down in front. Delaney, Bandy, Norris smothered by Trelevin. Callahan slides in, met solidly by Lord. Tallis falling to the ground. Flattened hurriedly. Clement nicely done. Releases Harding. Harding, a probing kick inside the 50. Parker in front. Good grab.
Well, that's a great start, then, because that's the sort of mark that wasn't taken by their forwards in that first 3 quarters of last week, where the ball was inside the 50 on a lead. The forward getting hands to it, and a grab not held on to, and good pressure, well, not good pressure, but untidy pressure by Jonathan Robran then.
It would almost been 50.
I thought so.
Daniel Parker, just outside the 50, gets it.
Yes, they did drop a lot of marks last week, Roscoe, didn't they? And probably should have won by more if you considered the score. I think it was 10-20.
Yes, they, as we mentioned, I think they almost doubled the number of times they got inside 50 to the Western Bulldogs last week and just couldn't capitalise. So they're getting the footy often enough, just their use of the ball not good enough. That's a terrific mark, and the sort of mark that you see a Jason Dunstall, Stuart Lowe take on a regular basis coming from the same area. And the conversion again by Daniel Parker, terrific. Well done.
First blood to the Dockers. Win not a factor. Salmon terrific against St Kilda last week. McManus, one of the speedsters, to White across his body, kicks to half forward. Harford in the road. One of the best, if not the best, for Hawthorn last week. Trelevin underneath it in front of Kickett. Hawks yet to go into attack over the head of Pritchard. Takes the good mark. Bandy in pursuit. Kicks towards half forward. Was that a mark? Lord has to play on. Bump ball. Marking contest. None can take it. Good tackle by Delaney. Ball jarred free. Platten going nowhere. Fine tackle Jones. McManus comes in. Now Holland. Holland outside 50. Bombs it long. Dunstall caught out of position. O'Reilly. That's on only 5 possessions last week. Chisholm. I'll be hoping he can kick in a little bit better today. Well, that wasn't a great example. Won't do your confidence much good. The Rat. Platten. Ball half out of bounds. Now it's out. At Hawthorn's left half forward flank. Hawthorn yet to score. And we will see a throw in.
And well done to Jason Dunstall on his 250th, Pete. Marvellous achievement.
Great recovery. Speaking of recoveries, we mentioned Mitchell. Dunstall injured the knee very late last season against the Swans. He's come up. Probably short of match practice. In fact, not probably. He is short of match practice, but can only get better. Let's hope the knee stands up. One of the all-time greats. Hassel, former Magpie, and the speedster. Clement leading Lord. Dockers with the numbers down there. Callahan gives it to O'Reilly, and Clement should be able to run it out.
Beautifully worked. Clement around the outer side, intended for Bandy. Look at him move. Daniel Bandy, such a big man. Great mobility, breaks away. Kicks down towards half forward. Best result here for the Dockers is for the ball to go out of bounds. Graham realising that, kept it in. Robran across the goal face. Salmon, opposite pocket. Comes away from fullback up towards the wing. Tallis in front. Norris did well, got it on the ground. Tallis, great recovery. Harford, clever. Hassel speeds through. Kicks down towards half forward. Chick, fingertips to it. Behind a chance for Parker. The hand pass, a little indecisive. Delaney slides in. Platten dives in. And a whistle. Johnny Platten. Familiar pose. What about Daniel Bandy? 200 centimetres. That's just under 6'7", like a rover on the outer side.
Pretty ordinary tackle by Steve Lawrence too, I might add. He should not have got around him.
Opportunity for the Hawks again. Crawford takes the hand pass. Dunstall this time just gave O'Reilly a little bit of a nudge. I did note last week, Roscoe, that at Waverley against St Kilda, he wasn't getting great distances with his kicks.
Well, I think this is his range, no question. And again, just good bodywork by the champion. He really has been an outstanding player. Steve O'Reilly, he's a very fine player himself. Good task.
Distant fairest for the Dockers last year. Former Cat Dunstall from 40 metres. Kicks and kicks accurately, so scores a level here at Subiaco.
Well, he'd be very keen to do well today, Jason Dunstall, not only because it's another game of football, but because he's 250th and he realises he's getting very close to the end of his illustrious career. And last week, when Darren Pritchard played his 200th for the Hawks against St Kilda, they lifted and hung on for a victory for him, and they are two stalwarts of the club. And then we see that use of the body, and good finish by a quality player.
Jason Dunstall celebrating a milestone, game number 250, getting the good start. 11 times Hawthorn's leading goal kicker, 6 times over 100. One of the great ones. Callahan out wide. Hassel worked out of it. Tallis nicely done. The kick is very wide from Crummell, out of bounds on the full. Crummell, the former Docker, is Raiden Tallis. Kick it. Up towards the wing. They'll kick it. Little chip pass. Bandy, foot underneath it. Pritchard gives it across towards Scott. Close to the line. Across the line on the full.
Good call by Jason Norris, doing some umpiring there.
So Norris put the Dockers deep into attack. Scores level. Kicks into the corridor. No mark taken. Coops, opportunity. Teenager from Darwin, he snaps, and it looks pretty good. The crowd likes it, and the goal umpire will say 4 points. Well, that will lift his confidence no end. It's 2 goals to 1, the difference 6 points. What a great snap.
Yeah, it's always great to get a touch early, Pete. You're right. The young fella here around the place in the right spot. Parker getting collide. They're just having a real mix with a couple of Hawthorn players, and Peter Mann read that beautifully over the back. And Coops, the fleet of foot half forward that they expect him to be, did the right thing and finished off for them.
Not much of him, but obviously possesses great talent. Back to the centre, the Dockers by 6 points here at Subi. Bounce a little errant, certainly favours the Dockers through the agency of White. And lose sight of it. Wills tried to barge his way through. Woods across Callahan's attempted smother. Woods again, still he goes. Leach puts his body in. Kick, it applies a tackle on Tallis. Caught with the football, but no chance to get rid of it, and the umpire will bounce it.
Outer side wing. White knocked it down. Callahan didn't have the ball. Kicker tries to knock it out. Norris stood up in the tackle. Harding to White. Towards the wing. Well played by Crummell. Good balance. Knocked it down to his own advantage. The finish not terrific. Bounces obligingly for Salmon. Look at Salmon go. Like Bandy. Brilliant pickup on the half volley by Platten to half it. Man on further afield. Nicely done. This is Hassel. Johnny Hassel about 55 metres out. Disposal not terrific, although it ended up very nicely, and Crummell has run about 100 metres to get on the end of that one. He was the man who initiated it through the centre square.
Yes, and John Hassel just taking that moment's hesitation in deciding to kick the ball to Crummell. Just gave the opposition player Norris a chance to get there to the contest, and the kick was just to the wrong side of Crummell, but he did so very well to control the ball.
It's like a sauna here at the moment. Very warm day. Crummell across the goal face. Missed everything. Disappointing result. No doubt the Hawks will be looking at the same formula that was successful last year. Harassing, chasing, making it hard for the Dockers to get that run. Here's White. What an exciting talent.
Played well last week, Dennis.
Former #1 draft pick goes in short to Harding. Some danger in that. Now Harding alongside the goal square, kicks it long towards the outer side. Bandy from behind Lawrence, no mark. Wills, they came at him very hard, and Woods has made it pretty hard for him already on several occasions off the ball.
Out of bounds, close to centre wing. Weather today, as Dennis said, a bit like a sauna, and what's on the bottom of screen there really does sum it up. White over the top. He's got a great leap. Leach kicks to half forward. Man. Graham takes him and the footy out of bounds. I often thought floor managers were almost useless, but sometimes they can provide a fan at the back of them. It's rather nice, actually. Thanks, John. Just keep it going. It's always nice to have a fan, Dennis.
At last.
Quick kick comes from the direction of McManus. Harford. Trelevin. Short of centre field. Finds Salmon. Under an injury cloud last week. Took his place on the side against St Kilda. One of the best on the ground. Platten. Awkward half volley. Trelevin off the ground again. Kicks inside 50. Holland overruns it. Jones. Lord, the former Geelong player. Well, that's a terrible pass to number 23. Oh, Crawford, they both made a meal of that. Parker and Crawford. Platten on the burst, gets rolled. Holland a chance, close in, snaps at the post. Oh, comedy of errors. Comedy of errors.
Amazing.
And the end result of all that was one behind to the Hawks. It's 2 goals to 1-1. Would you like to run us through that?
Well, no, they expect there's I missed the free kick too, I thought, but then Nick Holland not having a left foot there.
Parker on the outer side. Beautiful kick in. A nice kick to Leach as well. He won't let Justin Crawford take the penalties. There goes Leach. High one towards half forward. Hangs in the air a long time. Whistle and the dock is free. It's going to Peter Mann.
Yeah, he's got nudged out of it too early.
Mann looks for Parker through his fingertips. Bandy now kick it. They'll kick it about 35 metres out. Wills, they're going away from goal. Wills, nicely done, and again looping hand pass. Bandy turns around, kicks, goal.
Well, Andrew Wills was a bit of a revelation last week. It's possibly the best game he's played for the Dockers, and his time there finally produced the experience that he does have and got plenty of the football. And this time I thought he may have hung on to it far too long. He had the option to handball back to Delaney, who in fact has just come off the ground and replaced by Gavin Mitchell. But he then got off to a good option there in Bandy. And not an easy finish for the big fellow, but he did it well.
Dockers by 11 points. Good work by Bandy and Wills. Salmon against White. Won by Salmon. Counterhand. Across his body. Good kick. Graham. Nearly, yes. Pay the mark. Not much of him, but reads the play well. Very athletic. High jumper at school. Holland. Spectacular attempt to mark. Tallis. Quick hand pass. Now Tallis taking the hand pass. Dunstall pressured by O'Reilly. McManus off the carpet. The ground here at Subiaco does resemble. Mitchell goes hard at his opponent. Oh, McManus taken out. Good hip and shoulder by Harford. Bounces up like an India rubber man. Getting a little bit willing out there now. Wills is caught with the football. The umpire says it's a Dockers free, I think.
It's coming back to Mitchell though, Pete. Against Woods, so free kick to Mitchell.
It was before that.
Yes.
Too far out to score. He's about 65 metres. Oh, terrible kick. Some of the skills today, a bit lacking. That's going to be a free to Hawthorn. Woods will take it. The much travelled Tony Woods. Fitzroy and Collingwood. Woods takes the kick to midfield. The great leap of White. Good enough to take the grab. Right centre wing. Oh, kicks into the man on the mark. Chick. Harding. Harding's kick. Up towards half forward. Good mark taken by Lawrence. Saw the ball dipping short. Marked in front of Bandy. Goes out wide. Tall timber out there and Paul Salmon. Distant fairest at Hawthorn last year. Robran calling for it. Robran marks just short of right centre wing for the Hawks.
Famous footballing name. Robran hugs the boundary line. That goes Graham. Could have been a free. It is. Round arm spoil.
Yeah, the umpire saying over the shoulder. Oh, it's right there. Right in the bush.
Yep. Graham plays on. Kicks inside the 50. Dunstall, timely fist from O'Reilly. White falling down to Jones. Clement, nicely worked again. Harding away towards the wing. Watch for the loose ball behind. Crummell leads back, camped over it. Back through the legs, nicely done. Woods under pressure. Awkward hand pass. Wills, did he keep it in? It's still in. Got him coming through the interchange gates. Pritchard.
He was on the wrong leg.
So boundary throw in right on the wing. 18-7. Knocked down by Crummell. Mitchell. Kick it fell over. Crummell. Harford. Now Hassel. Nicely done. Broadens the situation. Salmon. Needs to be perfect. It wasn't. Parker comes over the top.
Oh, player fell behind play, and it will be a free kick downfield. It's against Crawford, and he's been booked. It was on Norrish.
Peterman took the resulting kick anyway as a mark, so that's exactly where the kick has been taken. But
and there's no question at all. It was a little bit late. So they, well, one Crawford's out already. They have two. Mann takes the kick.
That's better.
Great kick, great goal.
Much better set up by the Dockers coming forward. They're just running the ball pretty well through the midfield. It's probably the second time, a bit harsh on Paul Salmon. He's gone for a shorter pass, trying to be a low trajectory kick, and he's missed his mark, as I think a name has gone into the book. And he's missed his target. There's been a rebound, and this time the ball finishes with Peterman. Took the mark, got the resulting free kick anyway, and finished off with a goal.
Dockers on a roll past the halfway stage of the first quarter. 24 plays 7. They've certainly had much more of the ball on their forward line, and they go up there again. Good for the Dockers by Callahan. Marking contest. Going to be a Dockers free kick. It'll be taken by Parker. It's Daniel Parker. So the Hawks a little bit rattled at the moment.
There you see Jonathan Robrin just getting the back of Daniel Parker. Chance for his second.
Much doubt about that either. So a couple of loose tackles by Robrin. First wasn't a free, that certainly was. Just inside 50. He kicks and goals. Oh, Dockers go further ahead.
Well, they're refusing to kick a point today. Last week, I think they might have kicked 2 weeks' worth, so they've started off beautifully at the moment and really have made a scoring opportunity out of each time they've gone inside that 50-metre area, and this is just untidy work from the backman. But for Parker to take that resulting free kick and kick a goal from that distance was great work from him, whose confidence would have been down a little. He's given himself a great lift.
Five straight to 1-1. Salmon knocks it down. Kick it. In trouble. Tallis. Now Salmon falling to the ground. It's down towards half forward and Lord. McManus robbed of the ball. Well played by Hassel to Tallis. Tallis's kick inside the 50. O'Reilly will need to go. Well worked. Dunstall knocked it across to Platten. Platten battles on. Weight of numbers though. Work against the Hawks. Initially, O'Reilly went down. Down goes Lord. Slow whistle. And he's got a ball up. Well, I would imagine the Dockers kicking coach is bounding around the coach's box at the present time, as bold as brass after last week. All those behinds, and suddenly straight as an arrow today. Is that a push in the back? Not a good for the umpire.
Well, it should be, Dennis. I mean, they just don't pay that anymore. It's ridiculous. Yes, and Craig Callahan agrees.
What did he say? Push in the back.
I think so.
Dragged down. Holland wobbles down towards full forward. This is Parker. Comes away nicely. Harding linking it up nicely at the back. He's the man they're using to come out. Drives up towards the middle and White. Stood his ground. Bearing down was Tallis. White feeds it across to Norrish. Norrish on the wing. Still he goes. A very handy player for the Dockers. Down towards centre half forward. Big pack at the fall of the ball. Parker ambitiously claims the mark. Could have been taken high on the way down. Nothing doing. Man collides with Parker. Parker slaps it out. Here's Scott. Well done. And Scott will tidy up.
Scott's kick short, not really to the advantage of his side because the Dockers have the numbers, but Holland beats two. McManus just gets him. Kicks up towards left centre wing. No mark taken by Chick. Jones on Holland. Hassel. Hawks under all sorts of pressure. Leach onto White. He's been pretty good. Good long bob up towards full forward. Oh, magnificent mark, Salmon.
It's a great grab, isn't it?
Terrific mark. Dunster-esque, that one.
Oh, look at
Robert marking in front of Kickett. It's been a great quarter, Robert.
Daniel Chick's coming off. Bad gash to his forehead.
Bloodwood, presumably.
Yes.
Harpert. It's out wide. Harding. Well up the ground. We saw him in the back pocket just moments back. Terrible kick. White lopes after it. Might be okay. Traps it nicely. Platten's there. Crawford had his number taken. Platten in trouble. Ball jarred free in the tackle. Umpire says taken too high against Parker. Let's go down to the boundary. Adrian, there's a lot of blood there.
Oh, it's unbelievable here. Quinton Leach seems to have kneed Chick accidentally in the head and has split him across his forehead, very similar to what happened to Brenton Sanderson yesterday. I think he's going to get 5 to 10 stitches by just looking at the split, but shouldn't be anything more serious than that.
Let's take a replay of it. Gibson has the mark.
Yes, he's the player that came on to replace Daniel Chick, Pete. So, as Adrian said, probably a collision here. We see the tussle for the ball between Chisholm and Chick. There you see accidentally Quentin Leach coming into the contest, so should be okay.
Former full forward in the VSFL, Gibson, so he should kick okay, and he does. A much-needed one for the Hawks, 5 goals to 2-1.
Yeah, it's just the 4 games last year, Shannon Gibson from Northern under-18s, as Pete mentioned. So he's played 15 all up. Gets another opportunity now, so he'll be keen to do well. That's not a bad way to get your first kick in a game of footy. Put it through for a sausage.
Bit of support for Hawthorn here this afternoon. Fremantle by 17 points. White at the second attempt. Moves at about 15 metres. Mitchell tries to get away. Not quite. Callahan, did he have the ball? Well done by Johnny Platten, worked him out of it. Graham, very left-sided. Has to go with his right around the outer side. Reaching over the top. Jones got fingertips to it. Parker knocked it away. This is Kickett. Back to Parker. The Dockers are looking pretty good. White to Bandy. Bandy bounces it down inside the 50. Callahan fell over. Parker to Callahan. Callahan sweeping hand pass towards goal. Leach. Crummell tries to knock it out. In there is Scott. Coming through was Coops. A hand pass towards the full forward area. Crummell crawls after it and bumps it behind. Blocks the copybook as far as the Dockers are concerned. Good, desperate defence.
Yes, that's intelligent play by Brendan Cummill. As Jeff White comes off for a breather, Winston Abraham comes on, and there'll be another change very quickly too. Tony Delaney getting ready to come back on. I'll let you know who he replaces.
So Robert kicks in. Salmon the target. Salmon brilliant again today, carrying on from where he left off last Saturday night at Waverley.
That's his 5th mark, Pete, coming out for his 7th kick.
What an acquisition. It's like a good bottle of wine. He's got better with age. Harding has the sit. Didn't go for the mark. Punched it clear of Lawrence and also Mitchell. It's out of bounds on centre wing.
It was a strange career, wasn't it, at Essendon? Perhaps undervalued and underutilised.
Yes, a lot of people saying that he was maligned by a lot of the Essendon supporters, and yet he played some fantastic games for them.
Tavis won the goal kicking 3 times, but always wanted to be a ruckman.
I think we can see why.
Pushing the back, Pete.
Hassel, former Magpie. Johnny Hassel's kick towards half forward. Harpert also carrying on from his good form of last week. Daniel Harpert. Oh, Dunstall blocked in the lead there. Now, is that a Shepherd?
It is, Pete, definitely. Yeah, James Clement getting in the way. No intent on the footy at all. The ball set up a bit high. Dunstall had to sort of stop it. There's Clement, 31, just in the way, no question. You can't impede the run of a play like that. And it's Craig Callaghan to come off for a breather, for Tony Delaney to come on.
Only a couple of minutes remaining in the quarter. Hawks under siege early. Dunstall's kicked one. Goal this last week. But as they say in racing parlance, better for the run. He'll kick directly in front, 40 metres out. Close. The Hawthorn fans behind the goal like it. He's kicked his second.
Well, a good opener too for Jason Dunstall. The first goal he received was from a good use of the body mark. And no question here, his run intent on the ball was impeded by Clement. Would have been 3-on-1 anyway in the marking contest, but the idea okay from Clement to get in the way and help his fullback on O'Reilly. Not quite subtle enough.
Two goals for Jason Dunstall as Ben Allen comes onto the ground. Just a minute 40 remaining in the term. Dunstall playing only his second game against the Dockers. Kicked 3 goals in round 10 last season. Bandy was up to win it down. Crumbs it well. Delaney just on the ground. Tumbles it down towards half forward. Loose ball across the half forward line. Abraham lost it in the tackle. Coops to Mitchell. Mitchell, this is an area he's not strong in, but this is accurate.
Mitchell, that's his first of the game. And an important one, as Dennis says, not particularly good at finishing that area. And then Winston Abraham, just important in getting your hand to the ball there, bring it to ground. Coops involved, just the numbers important here. And the acceleration by Mitchell, just enough to get him away, steadied well. And good combination too in the centre through Bandy and kick it.
So the knee obviously not presenting any problems to him after a bit of a scare last week. 6-1 to 3-1, the difference back to 18 points in favour of the Dockers. Kick it, looping hand pass over his shoulder. Further forward for them. Ben Allen just onto the ground, the former Hawk. Scott slung, drops the footy. Allen again, Scott once more. Coops, he's kicked a nice goal, nearly holding the footy. Allen gets clear of Hassel. No, he doesn't get clear of Hassel. Norris goes off the ground. Robert past Platten, chance for Hassel. Ooh, was that kicking in danger? Hassel's kick okay according to the umpire. Bandy further forward. Allen 3 possessions. Terrific last couple of minutes from him after just coming onto the ground. Big marking contest down there. It rebounds. Harford's got it. Onto Platten. Platten in the left back pocket will steady the ship for the Hawks with under half a minute remaining in the term. Coop stands the mark. Platten's kick intended for Salmon. Salmon in front. Nearly takes the grab. Bandy tried to spoil. Tackled by Allen. Ball jarred in the front to Norris. Back to Allen again. He's everywhere. Will o' the wisp. Pass could have been a little bit better. Mann gives it back to Allen. Statisticians are pretty busy out in front. Gutsy attempt to mark by Crummell. Umpire has played it. Didn't think he held it. Bit of anticipation there. But there's the siren anyway. So it won't matter. Harvard has a fresh, not a fresh air shot. He kicked it from mid-air. Bottom line is, as you can see on screen, a 3-goal advantage to the Dockers at quarter time. Fremantle leading Hawthorn 6-1 to 3-1 at Subiaco.
Hence, it's very steamy.
Yes, you wouldn't want that sun to break through, actually. It makes it far more difficult.
Bandy and Salmon, 2 big men. We've got a whistle. Centre square infringement. Bandy gets the free. No one standing the mark. Go for a gallop, son. Away he goes. Bandy down towards half forward. Probing kick inside the 50. Good attempt at the mark behind down there from Scott. Pretty tough in the clinches. Tallis. It ricocheted off his boot to Leach, who snaps at goal. And that looks very good. Number 7.
And that's football sacrilege, Dennis, isn't it? Giving away a free kick is akin to kicking the ball into the man on the mark. You just don't give away in this professional day and age discipline off a centre bounce, someone infringing across the square, and then secondly, to compound it, no one standing the mark. The ball is run free by Bandy, and Leach, who's enjoying a season starting in forward area, capping off a good play with a goal.
Elementary stuff, isn't it?
Really? Well, it is, but I mean, it's just a lack of concentration.
So back to the centre, the start that Ken Judge didn't want for his Hawks. Norrish off the ground, kicks it towards the edge of the square. That's nearly a throw. Mitchell to Bandy. Umpire lets it go though. The Hawks have to defend again. Scott. Bouncing ball towards the boundary line on this side of the ground, taken over by Woods. 7-1 to 3-1, so the difference out to 24 points. The Dockers got a good start last week against the Western Bulldogs. They were reined in. The Dogs had good quarters, second and third. They'll be hoping to maintain their momentum. Delaney, who came on late in the first term, half it, or gets met solidly by Delaney. That might be a free kick downfield. It will be. Treleaven, right centre wing. Long roost up to Dunstall. He doesn't drop those. And some good signs there for the Hawk veteran. Starting to hold a couple of marks. 2 goals in the first quarter.
He's been great through his career, but hasn't he taken these pressure marks? Always someone hanging off him, and invariably someone coming from the front. He's actually just as he's about to line up Daniel Chick back onto the boundary line, just running back with his face pretty heavily bandaged.
There's big band-aid across the forehead.
Getting very technical.
He needs to draw that one around. It doesn't. Kept its line. Like a golf putt you've misread. So Dunstall has 2-1 against his name, and the Hawks 3-2 against theirs. It's 7-1 to 3-2. The difference 23 points here at Subiaco. Anything can happen when Scott Chisholm kicks in.
It's not quite a bandage, is it? It's just a bit of strapping.
Thanks very much for that. Harding takes the mark in the back pocket. Your forte wasn't in the medical room, I can obviously presume.
Still isn't.
Harding goes back the other side to Delaney. The Dockers work it around as they work it out of defence.
Good shepherd from Chisholm. A test for the knee. Dunstall went down. Meantime, the ball comes from Delaney up towards midfield. Salmon brilliantly done to Platten. He's trying hard. Swings it out wide. Lord. Holland had to wait. Up towards Harford. What a fine young player. Harford from about 75 metres out. This time he'll direct at Chisholm. Again, the adventure, although plenty of Dockers. Jones. Delaney's got it now. Parker has pace for a big man. Away he goes. Having a run. The mantra of the Dockers, the bouncing football. Now towards half forward goes Parker. Tricked everybody, including his brother, who slipped over down there. Away comes Robran. Back towards the wing. Rebound opportunity. Crawford. They'll pay the price, perhaps, the Dockers. Muff their chance going forward. Treleaven spears the ball in. Great pass to Gibson. Gibson may have hurt the hammy there as the turf gave way underneath him close to the boundary line.
I think you're right. Delaney off and McManus back on as we just see this again. Just lose his footing there. Oh, just a bit of a stretch too.
Seems to be okay. Has 1 goal. That was a good kick. This will take a special kick from here. He's trying to come back. Gee, that's a long kick. He's gone across the goal face. He kicked from outside the 50. That was a good 60 metres in the air.
1 goal, 1 he's kicked. So number 13 to kick it again. Scott Chisholm. 7-1 to 3-3. 22 points the margin in favour of the home side. Short, straight up the ground. Wills in front of Pritchard. Played well last week. Certainly one of his better games for the club. Bandy reads the play well, then makes a meal of it. Good enough to recover. Shoots the hand pass back to Mitchell. Back to Wills. Wills into the square, chased by Pritchard. Long kick by the former Cat. Right under the chest of Kickett.
Yes, the matchups, Pete, have seen Dale Kickett forward a fair bit in this game so far. And he's enjoying that. That's a good mark. Tallis couldn't affect a spoil.
He'll be kicking right on 50 for the Dockers' 8th goal. There's plenty of height. Just might have hooked it a fraction over the top of the goalpost virtually, and 3 for 1 behind. So a minor score to the Dockers. They'll kick its first score of the day. Dockers to 7-2, Hawthorn 3-3. And we've got just under 16 minutes left in the first quarter. Kick out comes up to Scott in the right back pocket.
He's away then. Needs to be precise coming out here. Wasn't quite. Mitchell across the line. In front of Lekis. Now an update on Daniel Chick down to Adrian Barrage.
Yes, Dennis, I got the medical terms on Daniel Chick. He had butterfly clips used on his gash on his forehead, and importantly he's been told to be no scar, which is good news for him. And I can tell you what, the Dockers are definitely meeting fire with fire today.
There's McManus breaking away through the centre square. Hasn't got the carry, not quite. Awkward half volley there for Parker. Robran heads towards the boundary line, knocked away by Leach, but it goes out. Daniel Chick, I would imagine, able to come back now. Close to best on ground against the Dockers here last season. 22 possessions, kicked a couple of goals. That's Robran without the butterfly clips. Margin 23 points. Allen, Leach. They're bidding Hawthorn to the punch at the present time. The ball bounces out of bounds, just sharper around the edges. So boundary throw in. Deep in attack for the Dockers. There's Ben Allen, a burst player now, a wonderful player for Hawthorn and for these Fremantle Dockers. Mann bounced off his chest. Abraham deep in the pocket, aided by the swing, getting around a little towards the goal. He missed comprehensively.
As he did last week, he missed a couple of sitters, though I wouldn't call that a sitter.
He kicked the important one, Pete, didn't he?
He did. That's right. The one that bounced through at the end. Scott's kick. Big climb by Bandy at the back. Wills tried for Norrish. Back to Leach. Rebounded off Woods. Norrish again. Leach taken high as he kicks towards centre half forward. The punch from Robert. Allen against his old club. That might have been touched. I thought it was touched by Scott. He's not going up to the umpire, so it's a goal.
Great reading, great working close too by the Dockers on the outer side. Just in a bit of heavy traffic, they were able to use instinctive handball to get out of a bit of traffic and then get the ball forward. As you see, Coops coming off for Jeff White, and then Ben Allen on the end of a great piece of reading of the play here. Just crumbing it beautifully, aided by a good shepherd by a teammate. I just didn't pick up who that was. And he's always been a good finisher. Well done, ex-skipper.
So the margin now out to 29 points, 8-2-3-3. Marvellous calculating finish by Ben Allen. Bandy has been superb. Just an exciting player, Daniel Bandy. Norrish to Harding. Towards half forward goes the floater. Going back, McManus. Plays on immediately. Norrish breaking away down towards half forward. Intended for Parker. Almost the juggled mark. Hit the ground running. Could have been taken high. Play goes on. Well defended, socket off the ground. It comes out wide from Pritchard's boot. This is Harding, though, preparing to send it back in. It bounces just outside the 50. Winston waited. It's fisted away down there by the defender, Tallis. Nicely done by Mitchell. Norrish, 60 metres out. Bandy goes by Salmon. No, he does not. Great tackle. Mitchell's got the loose ball, though. 40 metres out and closing. Pulls it back. Not well enough. Harford's in the row.
Daniel Harford from the left back pocket. Wobbly kick. Kicks it straight to Ben Allen, who had 5 possessions in about 90 seconds late in the first quarter. He's got it to Mitchell, who's busy bombing up and marking about 55 metres from goal. Need to be a pretty good kick from there to get it anywhere near the goals. So he'll be looking for options. McManus doesn't seem to have an opponent. He's calling for it. He didn't see him. Kicks it straight to the goal square. 2 Hawthorn players nearly collided. The ball was fisted away by Lekis. Snapshot by Abraham. Now Crummell. One game for the Dockers. He goes for the boundary line to get it away from Allen. And it will be a throw-in. About only 30 metres from goal. Almost in the forward pocket. 8-2 to 3-3. Hawks on the ropes at the moment. Salmon had a great first quarter. Mann, the captain, out the back. Lord, Allen, nailed in the tackle. Dockers will be hoping his knee can stand up this year. Lord's kick. Woods tries to keep it away from Wills. Succeeds in that. Out of bounds. The Hawks gaining a few metres as the ball close to centre wing.
Just stifling the run of Hawthorn to the Dockers at the moment, and the heat is going to become more stifling as well, to make it more difficult for the visitors. Callaghan on, and Mitchell is off.
Salmon probably their best, but straight to Ben Allen. Tallis, almost a throw. Docker fans thought it was. The umpire let it go. Bandy having a great game. Oh, collision imminent there. Callaghan from midfield. Long, raking left footer. Now towards left half forward. He's going to stretch him. He gets around okay, Allen. He stumbles at the end. Fires it down to Mann. Lawrence. Hassel. Johnny Hassel this way, that way. Trying to get around White. Kicks it out to Lord, who marks in front of Norris.
Aaron Lord plays on. Well picked up by Robran. Always an element of danger there, though. Kick it to his own advantage. Pushed off it by Lord. Close to the boundary line. Nice dummy. And again, in no space, did brilliantly. Robran comes away from defence and proceeds to put the ball directly out of bounds.
That's where they've fallen down. There's no one across half forward to kick to this week. Holland was last week, this time being well held by Anthony Jones.
Daniel Bandy posting the possessions of the Ruck Rover.
6 and 5.
He could achieve anything in this game. He kicks it down towards half forward. McManus in from the side. Superb attempt at the mark. Abraham Harford put his body in. Well played. Got it to Graham. Coming to meet the ball on the half volley, Jones. McManus is forward of the wing. Not much on offer. Boy, Parker slips away. Simply too fast there for Robran. That's interesting. I looked down the ground. They were side by side. I looked back and suddenly Parker was 5 metres in the clear.
Yes, the space for him to run into was created by the players 20 metres in front of him who took off for a shorter lead, but then the option was much better by McManus to go longer. He found Parker.
Going at his third right here. His kicking has been very good so far. Outside the 50, it hangs in the air. Off hands, White was up. Lekis gets the crumbs and immediately gives away a behind.
When you go for it, like a good analogy for people to use is if you're looking up the field, it's a bit like driving a car. Don't look at the car that's in front of you immediately. Look at the one that's 4 or 5 ahead. You should be able to see the one that's directly in front. Go longer, direct the traffic that way.
Unless you get stuck behind a Range Rover or something, in which case you can't see.
Or a bus. Thanks, Pete.
Crummell kicks in. Salmon, Mann. Johnny Hassel tries to get it off the ground. Delaney applies a tackle. He came out with the footy. Hassel again. Harford. Geez, good player. Hawks need a few others to lift. Crawford. Awkward bounce. Kick from Woods. Towards Lord. Lord goes in short. Oh, not a good option there. Harding chipping in front of Platt. Harding doing some pretty good work across the half-back line. It's it over to Chisholm. Sun in the eyes, certainly a factor here. Oh, that's a great mark. Holland messed up his work though, and he played on. Now Leach. Callaghan taken to ground as he kicked. Wills, Woods. Desperate to get it out of the danger zone, which they do through Lekis towards half forward. Is taken by Crawford, who seemed to have his number taken in the first quarter. Shocking
50 metres
mistake down there, and it will be 50 metres, which will give a Hawthorn player a shot at goal, and I would say could be Jason Dunstall.
No, it'll be taken by Crawford, I think.
It's not downfield.
No, it's against Shane Parker, I believe, who just wouldn't come back on the mark quickly enough. So umpire David Ackland saying that the penalty is 50 metres, so Crawford will take the kick. Justin Crawford.
Directly in front of goal, so it's almost a gimme because he's only about 25 metres out. For Hawthorn's fourth. Boy, do they need it. He kicks and he goes. So Justin Crawford gets his first and Hawthorn's fourth, and the difference is back to 24 points.
Yes, I can't help you there, Pete. I mean, the umpire just saying to Parker, you went back on the mark quickly enough. I didn't think that there's terribly much wrong with that, but umpire's decision is final. Coops back on, Abraham off for the Dockers. at this moment, that's about the only way they're looking like getting a goal. Hawthorn threw a free kick like that.
Daniel Bandy's off the ball now, resting at full forward. White having a turn. Salmon camped underneath it. White worth a kick down to Delaney. Grabbed immediately. Fremantle to Pritchard. Darren Pritchard played his 200th last week against the Saints. Down towards half forward. Parker will be first back. Needs support. Well, he's a bit lucky to get out of that. Could have well been holding the ball, but Parker's got the free for a high tackle. There was a bit of that there too, but he was in desperate trouble. Jones. Chisholm leads. He's at centre-half back. White wants it short. That's ignored. Chisholm strolls away. Well, that's interesting. Chisholm towards the wing. McManus from behind. A spectacular leap by Harford. Could have almost been a free to McManus. Harford almost got it on the way down. That's good defence on the outer side. The kick comes down towards half forward from Leckis. Close to the boundary line. Unable to keep it in is Gibson. And we'll have a throw in.
You see this again.
Warwick Kappa style.
Well, Warwick Kappa, Malcolm Blight. There is an infringement, definitely.
Only your chiropractor would like to see that.
As he drives along in the Mercedes. Gibson. Hawks desperately need something to happen on their forward line. To 11, can he give it to them? He can't. He's outnumbered about 3-1. Hassel. A little bit of a nudge there from behind from Callahan. The umpire lets it go. Jones, Clement. They work it away well. Parker nearly caught. Hassel, good tackle. Clement again. Through some pretty heavy traffic onto his left. Kicks into the man straight in front of him. Little nudge up to a teammate in Norwich. He couldn't do enough with it. Pretty heavy in the clinches. Clement again. Kicks it.
Gee, umpire, that's tough. Parker made the effort to come against the flow of traffic. Got the ball, trapped it, pushed it on, and the umpire says too congested.
Slow whistle, wasn't it? But
yes.
There was a throw coming out by the
Well, that's what I thought he was going to penalise, but
Holland and White do battle. Trelevin tries to centre it for Lord. He did get a kick at it. It's not going to quite make it. Dunstall off the ground and didn't make it again. 3 Dockers take it over the line for a rush behind. Could have rattled that one. Like seagulls on a piece of fat. 4-4 to 8-3. White's got it again. Had a good game last week against the Western Bulldogs and carrying on with that good form today.
good kick.
Good long kick to Delaney on his own. He takes the mark in front of Tallis. He's at right centre wing, kicks to half forward. He finds McManus also on his own, and he gets on his bike quickly.
Looking for Bandy. Well, it's well wide of the mark. Goes inside the 50. Crummell missed it. Leach. Oh, nicely done. Spins out of trouble. 10 for execution. And the finish terrific.
That's his second. Dockers 9th. 9-3 to 4-4.
Yes, and he does play that role pretty well, Quentin Leach. But again, the preparedness of the Dockers players to break free and run hard from their players. Delaney first up, and the kick was good from White too. And then Manus broke from the centre to make space for him. And then Leach shouldn't have got out of the situation. Robin, a poor tackle. The player running toward him, not getting there quickly enough to make the smother.
Scott's just come back onto the ground. He's going to pick up Kickett, and I think it was Hassel that went
yes,
off.
please.
Yeah, thanks, Roscoe. Back to the centre. That was looking pretty good. Leach, who kicked the last goal, his second. Let's score one from there, over the head of Delaney. Coops, good mark. Kick one in the first quarter.
Oh, give it off.
Youngster from Darwin, a little bit slow.
Well, I'd almost say selfish, Pete. If a player runs forward like White has, that's Jeff White into space, 30 metres from goal, and you don't give it off to him. Having seen him.
Inexperienced. I saw it well. Okay, put it down to inexperience.
You want to keep the goal.
Want to, he's not going to. Off the side of the boot. Parker a chance. Knocked away by Robin. Platten from Harpert. Onto Woods. Back to Harpert. Rides the bump well. Walks out of danger momentarily perhaps. Salmon had a great first quarter. Seems to have gone out of the play a little bit in the second term. The Fishers kick Up to half forward, Gibson, the flyer. Kick it at ground level supreme in front of Scott. McManus, no one near him. McManus, Lawrence, Wills, Delaney now. Boot the ball quickly. Crummell off the ground. That was the best result he could have got, because if it didn't have speed, Wills would have picked it up. And let's go down to Adrian Barrett. It's a sauna up here, old son. Is it better off down there?
Actually, it's cooled off a bit, and that's because the breeze has picked up. Some pertinent information for you. Down at ground level, it's probably worth a goal or two at the moment, and it's favouring Hawthorn, so against the run of play.
Tallis to Woods. McManus playing as if there's nobody on him, and there's not. 12 possessions. Very high one back inside the 50. 2 Hawks up. Robran and Crummell. Running it down there was Lawrence. He moves it down towards the wing. Harding leads in the race. Gathers the ball. To 11 closes, but the kick is good. Finds Wills 70 metres from goal. Plays on immediately. Long one down towards full forward. Going back. Robran spilt it. Coops a chance to make amends. He's got a love of that pocket. Out of bounds on the full this time. Had more time than he knew.
A lot of the Dockers players have to be aware as well that Jeff White's playing up and down the corridor, and he's been free a fair bit of the time. They haven't seen him. They could open up their peripheral vision.
Lekas out of the back pocket then. Sends play around the outer side wing, intended for Salmon. Great grab. He's their heart and soul this afternoon.
7 marks, Dennis.
Down towards the wing. It's going to be, I think, a relayed free kick. No, a 50-metre penalty, so Salmon will get the ball back. Holland's got it at the moment. McManus is dragged back.
Ben Allen to come off, replaced by Winston Abraham.
Some fine work from Ben Allen. Had his last game for the Hawks back in the 3rd qualifying final of '94 against North Melbourne. The first extra time final in AFL history. He's sitting down, approaching half-time as the Hawks go deep into the pocket. It bounces out of bounds, and we'll have a throw-in.
Looks like a little bit of physio too from Ian Lowther, the club physiotherapist, on Allen's left calf.
He was doing that before, wasn't he?
Yeah, maybe knotting up a bit.
Well, the mind is willing. Very active from what we've seen. White thumps it away. Graham, snapshot. The Hawks needing a goal. Good effort. Not good enough. Bad luck.
So 1 behind to the Hawks. 9-3 to 4-5 now. 29 plays 57 in favour of the home side. 4 minutes left in the second term, and therefore in the half. Daniel Chick going up and down the boundary line. Scotty Chisholm. It's always a revelation watching him kicking in. This time okay. He's found Parker in the back pocket. His opposite number 23, Crawford, stands the mark. He's going to come back across the front of goals. Find Harding. He's been useful. Kicking not particularly good. Woods, Mitchell dropping the ball. Play on. Woods again. Still he goes. Tries to farm it out. Wills. A little give. Jones. Mitchell. Now O'Reilly. That's a better kick. Abraham tried to take the specky, but the man in front, has he been paid? No.
Well, I thought he should have, Pete. I thought he had first hands on it, Coops, but Abraham did come from behind. We'll see this again. I still would have paid that.
Oh, you've got to pay that.
Yeah.
So it's a ball up on centre wing.
Thanks, Dennis.
Salmon again. Down to Harpert. Hawks' 2 best players by a country mile. O'Reilly quite content to see it over the line. On the outer side, pretty well on the wing position. 9-3 to 4-5. 3 minutes left in the half. Hawks finding goals very hard to come by. Dunstall, their only multiple goal scorer, with 2. White and Holland. Holland the front position. A little flip out to Harpert. Terrific game last week. Continuing on in that vein today. Harpert's kick up towards Scott. He gets on his bike quickly. Right foot snap. Kicks it goal. What's he done? Wait on the goal umpire for this one. Maybe a behind. He's missed. Should have kicked that one. He can't believe it, but the goal umpire is going to wave one flag. Brad Scott. I'll get another chance later. It's 9-3 to 4-6. 27 points in favour of the Dockers. Under 3 minutes left.
His twin plays for the Brisbane Lions.
Yes, just suggesting to the umpire visit the optometrist tomorrow, I think.
Over the top, McManus not paid. Callahan the crumb storms away. Could be run down from behind. Gets the kick away, and a good one too. Mann has it. Wills breaks for him. Wills has got it now. Running down towards right half forward. Delaney's on for the short one. He ignores that. Parker. Delaney camped in front though. It'll work out okay. Delaney heads for home, and he's missed. Could have done better there.
Sorry, Dan. I think as soon as he kicked it, he realised that he'd pulled it left. Daniel Chick is back on now. He's gone to half forward.
There he is.
Picked up by Greg Harding.
Robert miscues. Out of bounds on the full. Had a tough day back there. Now Leach. Just over 2 minutes to half time. Leach looks for Bandy. Missed him. Harford nicely done. Although Pritchard left it behind. Delaney. White. High floater towards the pocket. Harford keen to make amends. Goes back. Takes a courageous mark. Goes to Graham. Had it initially when they tried to come out. A little cuff for Mann. Nothing to it. Can the Hawks regroup at half-time? They'll need to.
There's a throw.
Looked a bit that way. Crummell towards the boundary line. Throw it in, says umpire Screw. No one satisfied, as you can see.
Minute and a half to go before the siren. As Dennis said, can the Hawks regroup? Be a welcome sound for them. This man's tried pretty hard. Paul Salmon in front of White. Raiden Tallis just couldn't pick it up. Trying to pick up the soap in the shower. So another throw in, 60 metres out from the Dockers goal. Man from behind. Salmon too tall. Platten. Tony Woods. Dow defender. Wills, courageous mark. Can he give it to White? No. Kicks it off the side of the boot. That's a terrible kick. Crawford underneath it. So too is McManus. The ball props virtually. Right near the circle. Parker. Now Mitchell. Need to do a good balk. He does. Out to McManus. Well shepherded by Wills, but Harford still comes at him. Wills takes it from McManus. Inside 50. Long shot at goal. Is it going to be there? Abraham. Wills, not Wills, Woods will rush it over for one behind to the Dockers. 9-5 to 4-6. And that takes the difference to 29 points.
And Andrew Wills just acknowledging his kick over to McManus was a poor one.
Kick out again. Close to siren time. White with the sit at the back. Salmon in front, too tall again. It's 8 marks. 9 kicks to Salmon. This is Lord. Former Geelong player. Hawks need a mark here to Dunstall. He's got it. As the clock ticks down to half-time, he doesn't know that. No, the sound of it is imminent, the siren.
Yep, he hasn't had too many of those opportunities, Pete, has he, where he's been able to lead into a bit of space, and the player with the ball downfield has had a chance just to deliver in that fashion.
It will be the last kick of the half. Dunstall from right on 50. Boy, do they need a goal. What's the goal umpire doing? He hasn't moved. That looks a pretty good kick. He's got his third. Well, that will give them some hope going in at half-time. They've found goals very hard to come by. And Jason Dunstall getting back to some of this.
Firstly, from the Hawks rooms, well, they're saying that too much is being left for too few, and I guess they mean Paul Salmon and Daniel Harford. They can't work out how their game plan has been broken up by the Dockers. Ken Judge plays very much a man-on-man style, and he's can't work out, a bit perplexed at how they're sort of getting away on their own. And as you said, Ross, I don't think the Dockers have changed their style. They're just running a bit more efficiently.
Throw in, centre wing. 9-5 to 5-6. 23 points the advantage won by the Dockers. It missed Harford, which is a surprise because he's been pretty good. Tallis missed it likewise. They leave it to Johnny Platten. Back to Woods. Probably a Fitzroy and Collingwood. Woods kick up towards half forward. Parker in front. Had it stolen from him by Crummell as the Hawks try to work it forward. It's about as far as they're going, though. Mitchell wobbles the kick up towards Mann. Abraham, the umpire got in his road, actually. Abraham read it well, gets it up to White, and he's a thumping kick. He should be able to kick it from there.
He's been a prominent player today, Pete, and there's a great take by Peter Mann to jump and grab that ball cleanly, then give it off, albeit with the umpire just about impeding Winston Abraham. But that's a good option there. That's where their game has changed a little. They're just pinpointing their passes and players are finding the space, which makes their conversion rate much better.
Jeff White should get the distance. He hasn't kicked a goal today. As I mentioned, the thumping kick. He'll be kicking from about 40 metres. In the shelter of the stand. He's got the distance all right, as we predicted, but the accuracy just left a little bit to be desired. And one behind goes to the Dockers total.
Great learning curve for him, Pete. Last week did well against Scotty Wynd, as you and I saw, and today coming against someone like Paul Salmon doing well again. It's terrific for him.
So Robrin kicks in. He's not the greatest of days so far. Marking contest just outside 50. Now Woods. Oh, bad hand pass. The Dockers are away again. Allen, who came on late in the first quarter. Oh! Callahan wears it. That might be a booking. It's not a booking, but it's a warning from the umpire. Harford stands the mark. He kicks from 49 metres, Callahan. Bad sort of a kick distance-wise again, but again off target. And 3 for 1 behind by Craig Callahan. So the Dockers peppering the goals, 9-7 to 5-6.
Tony Woods to come off for Hawthorn, replaced by Luke McCabe.
Robrin kicks in, actually straight up the centre, just directly to Abraham. Norwich behind, got some company. Well, the new man on the ground just missed him. Norwich down towards half forward. Coops in front, just hung on to. He passed to no one in particular. Platten pretty quiet after a promising start. This is Tallis. Good effort in a tight situation. Lord flirted with the idea of moving on. He's up from right half back. Aaron Lord kicks towards the wing. Parker played it pretty well, knocking it away from Crummell. Norwich in front. Crummell ran him down from behind. That's holding the ball. Fire opportunity. Schick. Tallis. Now Holland. He takes the mark. Overcommitted Jones missed him. Holland down towards the 50. This is Gibson. About 55 metres out from goal. We've seen he's a good kick. Feigns to go long, goes in short. Still almost. Bad luck for him and fumbled across the line by O'Reilly.
Hawthorn players asking for out of bounds on the full, which I think was a pretty fair request, but the umpire was fairly close and he's going to decide to throw it. 9-7 to 5-6. Hawks trailing. At the back, Holland. Crummell. Terrible shot. Out of bounds on the full, and it will be kicked in by Scotty Chisholm. A bit of a disagreement there. Obviously don't like each other's deodorant.
Kick it, Crummell.
2 falls out of 3. That might develop into something. It is developing into something. In the meantime, the Dockers are going to run it out. Chisholm gives it back to Parker. Parker, long bomb. White's broken up. Up towards Leach. Couldn't take it. Abraham. Abraham spears the... Oh! 2 Dockers collided. Coops takes it. Mann came on second best in that collision. And the skipper still looks a little bit groggy. Graham, in the meantime, takes advantage of that situation. Gets it back towards Raiden Tavis on left centre wing. Platten provides a shepherd. And his kick is okay. It's marked by Gibson. A star in the VSFL. Kicks straight into the man on the mark. Too many mistakes being made by the Hawks. Kick it. Nearly run down. He is run down by Gibson. Great footy. Holland. Hawks coming to life. Scott. Now Lord. Nice balk. Touched. Play on call. They have to. Scott again. Left foots it in towards goal. It's coming around. But it is a goal, I think. The crowd likes it. It's there.
Well, the momentum just swinging a little bit to Hawthorn's way, just a little bit of a dust-up behind play, and then players coming in and out, and then a good chase to bring Kickett undone. And Scott, who was disappointed with a shot at goal in the second quarter. Here's the chase.
Coaches love that.
That is a terrific chase there by Gibson. Ball turns over, finishing up with Scott, who breaks away with a bit of pace from Wills and just lands through nicely for him.
What you'd call a nice little leg break there from Scott. So the Hawks back in this, 61-42. Certainly their endeavour is much better at the start of the third quarter than it was at the start of the match. Platten off the ground. Abraham goes hard. Ball out toward Harding. Gets a kick. The boundary line, probably his best option. That's what he's found. And the ball out towards centre wing, where it will be thrown in.
Clever control there by Harding too, but just to get his hand on the ball and then quickly let it go and get his boot to it to clear it out of the danger area. Good thinking.
One of their better players.
He's done well.
Salmon's certainly been Hawks' best. Tallis, he's come to life. Looks for Lord. We've seen better hand passes. Lovely twist. Kicks into the man on the mark. That was Callahan. Harding. Bandy. Pinned by Harford. Still they go. Tallis tries to keep it in. Oh, he's given it out on the full. I think it was over the line when he gave it, and that's a pretty harsh decision.
I'd agree with you, but I would have suggested the ball that carried the line. Well, I reckon that's wrong.
Bandy takes the mark. Will be run down as well. Daniel Bandy. Still Dockers try to retain possession. That was from Lord, the tackle. So Ken Judge has obviously had plenty to say to the Hawks during the half-time break.
That's the third time that's happened, Peter. It's really the responsibility not only of the player with the ball, but the teammates around. And on the 3 occasions it has happened, players haven't been telling the fellow carrying the football he's under pressure, that he's hot, he's got to get rid of it.
Bandy almost held by Salmon. Lets it go. Abraham tackled by Platten. Salmon did well in that tight situation. Wills, hard one to mark. Abraham grabbed, seemingly not in possession. Salmon tried to go off the ground. And Abraham's head, or Mitchell's head? Mitchell's head. Could have finished up here in the box.
Well, Hawthorn have applied that pressure, Pete, that we spoke about at the start of the game, just to try and tie the Dockers up a bit.
Bounce, centre wing, 9-7 to 6-6. Early in the third quarter. Salmon missed his target. Leach brushes one tackle. Shepherd by McManus. Kicks back towards centre half forward. A marking contest there. Chance for the Hawks to clear it through Scott. Bouncing ball. Finds straight over the boundary line in front of Graham and Ben Allen. It will be thrown in.
It's ended up being a favourable kick. He perhaps would like to have gone further out towards the wing, but he really didn't have a player coming toward him, so he had to kick to that space.
Man with Graham. Run by the Hawks. Lord again. Short kick. Bandy. Gets front position. Parker. He's also run down number 4 for the quarter. That time it was Chick. The turnover goes to Platten. Now the Hawks tackling this quarter absolutely exceptional. Holland, to get more out of him. Up towards half forward. Crawford, 35 metres out and closing, and kicks the goal.
And that's a direct result, Pete, of that pressure.
2 goals to Crawford.
Yep. And the 4th player run down when he's trying to carry the ball. Again, it's Parker. Just not the awareness of someone you can't just believe that you can just carry the ball all the time. And again, no communication from teammates. Holland, who's had a pretty quietish match, he's been well held by Anthony Jones. Found Crawford, who did the rest.
So the surge by the Hawks. Back in this. So they had a chance at half-time. Abraham off the ground by Platten, down towards centre half forward. Spills wide, missed by Holland, coming through Jones. Now Wills long towards half forward. Can they get the steadying goal? Well judged at the back by Lawrence. The hand pass charged down low. Well played by Mann. Off the ground by Allen. Rodron in his own defensive area. Plays on. McCabe. Just inside the line. Leach slipped over to 11. Slips away. Up towards the wing. Bounds on the full. Abraham with the ball.
There's a Docker down behind play too.
Manus in space. Callaghan is on. Bypasses him. Goes to Belongoli across the ground and Wills. 9-7-7-6. Doc is in front. Man, he was in the clear.
He was played down, Dennis.
Got up pretty quickly, so
the skipper, 65 metres out from goal. The spiral. Some work, some don't. Coops over the top almost. White didn't have the ball. Lawrence grabbed him. Harford kept his head, bounces it out of bounds.
well, maybe, Dennis, when you said at half-time there's only 5 free kicks to the Dockers, well, there should have been another one. That could have been 6. I think they've had more than that.
Yeah, they got 7 last week. You're talking about tackles or frees?
I'm sorry, it was tackles. I beg your pardon.
And Adrian,
7 frees last week.
Adrian.
Yeah, news from the umpires, boys. They've confirmed that Justin Crawford was reported in the first quarter for his hit on Jason Norris. There's plenty of feeling down here on the ground at the moment. I hope we don't get any more.
O'Callaghan's kick marked by Norris. O'Callaghan's kick 9-7 to 7-6.
Sorry, but he's now coming off, actually, Callaghan.
And will be replaced by Mitchell. Back with Norris. Just inside 50, about 48 metres out. He's got the distance. And has he got the accuracy? I think not. One behind. Kicked by Callaghan. Kicked by Norris. Goes Norris. So the Dockers finding goals hard to kick in the third quarter. 9-8 to 7-6. They've kicked only 3 behind for the quarter so far.
And that breeze is freshened too, Pete, hasn't it? So the Dockers really kicking to that end with the aid of what could be almost a 3-goal breeze. As now Jeff White comes off, he'll be replaced by Winston Abraham.
Lawrence off. Hassel follows Abraham on. Interesting. The ultimate tag. Wills, did he have the ball? Man. Button got him. Well done. Kind of hits for the boundary line. But lucky there. Disguise it too much. So the Hawks putting it to the Dockers right now, as they did last season on this ground. Happening around the ball. Eventually, the high kick floats down from Tallis. Missed there by Parker. Still he goes though, Parker, across half forward, inside the 50. For his brother, he turns around, but it's too far from the ball. It's with Graham out against the boundary line. Not a particularly good kick. Just over Parker's head, close to the boundary line. Lord, tapped away by Delaney. And it will be thrown in. Jimmy Delaney. William Aaron Lord. Lord, star for Geelong in their 94-second semi-victory over Carlton. Good play last week. Here's Graham working overtime. Down towards the wing. Crummel's in front. Keeps it going. It stays in too. Holland's got the run of it now. They've made something out of nothing. Holland 52 metres out. Pulls it back. Looking for Dunstall. Chisholm favoured by the kick. Dunstall got a hand to it. Coming through O'Reilly. Didn't have the ball. Play on's the call. And a bounce about 40 metres out. Well, that would appear to have been pretty blatant, I would have thought.
And that's what that third umpire was there for, Dennis. You should see that. He's only 15 metres from it. Even if you have your back, the player's backs, you can't tell me you can't see a tackle like that.
9-8 to 7-6. Chance for the Hawks to close the gap even more. O'Reilly. Platten should get there first in front of Norris. Oh, he takes it over the boundary line, did he? Yes. That's the momentum. He tried to get it back to Tallis, but his momentum carried him over, and the footy, it will be thrown in about 45 metres from the Hawks' goal, halfway through the third quarter, which has been their best to date. A bit of pushing and shoving there. Crawford to Crummell. Crummell's gone across the ground. This is going to test Dunstall's fitness. It's onto his left. A high bomb. There's some tall timber there. Holland provides it. Great mark.
Well, did test Dunstall beat the right, but not only did he have to turn, he had to kick with that so-called crook left knee, but obviously not too bad at all. Good jump by Holland.
Got the right on his teammate there.
5th mark for Holland, coming up for his 9th kick. But a good duel between he and Jones.
And a goal here would make it very much an interesting match, which it is now. The Hawks have gradually worked their way back into this. Has been pretty dour stuff. Holland kicks at goal. Crowd reaction behind should tell us. It looks pretty good. It's there.
Well, he was their main goal scorer last week with 4 straight, complemented by Daniel Harford with 3. So Harford yet to score today, and that's Holland's first. So if they can perhaps get themselves back into the game in the goal-scoring sense, Harford's been very good elsewhere. Certainly Dunstall with another opportunity set that up for Holland.
Just over 8.5 minutes to three-quarter time. 9-8, plays 8-6. There's Norris out of the middle, down towards half-forward. Allen's in front down there. Fickle bounce eluded him. Now Graham having a good turn, comes away from half-back towards the middle. Bandy slides in, takes the mark on his chest. Interesting, after Dunstall's last effort, across half-forward, a member of the Hawthorn medical staff was out talking with him. Had a long conversation. Seems to be okay. Not much given away, looking through the glasses. Poker faces. Down in front, Hassel. Close to the boundary line, Holland. Ooh, crashes into the hoardings there.
This man's just been taken off him too, Dennis. Jones and Harding's, beg your pardon, Clement's just come back on.
It's a fine talent is Holland. He could turn this game. He's in the process of perhaps doing that. Harding. Back to Parker. Parker's on the wing. Goes down towards half-forward. Not a particularly good kick. Up down there was Mann. Allen crashes the pack. Spills Goldwood. It's Hassel with pace. They've got the numbers on the outer side. Chisholm read it brilliantly. Peeled off his man. Knocked it away from McCabe. The hand pass a little untidy. Still he goes. Needs a kick. The hand pass gained about 20 metres though. Bounces off Coops to Allen. He's lacking support. Went down. Tallis picks it up. Kicks it back towards the outer side. Wills on a collision course with Lord. Lord wanted it most. Over the top to Salmon. The runner alongside. So Salmon plenty of time. Pulls back towards the middle. Well contested centre half forward. Reaching over the top, Crummell. Obliging bounce for Parker. And he releases Harding.
Harding across the half back line where he's done some good work today. Riley looking for options upfield. O'Reilly's kick. He kicked to a contest actually on centre wing. Ball cleared the 2 players concerned. Scott goes pretty hard at the footy and Abraham. Abraham comes up again, butters up once more. Again it's a foot race. This time Allen and Scott. Scott will be content to see the boundary line, and he is. Umpire says throw it in.
Lost his whistle. Good play by Scott, just intent on the football here. Abraham trying to say he's retarded, then straight in the back of Johnny Hassel.
So the throw in. Forward pocket for the Dockers. If they get a quick goal, that's out of bounds on the full by Mitchell. Things not going their way in the third term. We've got 6.5 minutes left. Hawthorn methodically, not prettily, work their way back. Another change being made, and Allen is coming off. Callahan is back on. I wonder what Ken Judge said to the boys at half-time. Away they go. This is Angelo Lekis. Lekis goes to the outer side. He's looking for Harford. You couldn't blame him for that. Abraham, he steps around him okay. Daniel Harford, wearing number 5, was made famous at Glenferrie by the late and great Peter Crimmins. Kick it. He'll do just that. McManus, Tallis, good block. Gibson, fine shoulder. Opens it up for Harford. 25-metre hand pass to Justin Crawford. He'll give it back to Lord. Lord down to Dunstall territory. Let's see how he's moving. Moving okay. Back to Crawford. He's not a bad kick as a rule. This time he sprays it and one behind.
See, they're the ones you want, Pete, with all the work that's been put in to get the ball down there, just to finish off a little more accurately. You can see a few of the heads of the Hawthorn teammates looking a little more despondent. And that all the running.
Plenty of pressure on the Dockers. A few of the bad habits coming back. So Mitchell misses a shot at goal. Hand passes. Errant. Oh, and Holland. Hasn't he lifted? More ways than one. That was a great mark. Comes in short, Gibson. About 85 metres from goal. Any one of about 3 on the end of that one. It's taken by Lord directly in front. Now, Aaron Lord is a reasonable kick. He is working into a breeze here.
Yes, that may be the only thing against him, then getting that distance. That breeze is fresh, as we mentioned. So, tough kick.
It's very close to the man on the mark. Lifts it very high. It'll fall about 2 metres out. Off hands. Is the mark? No, or behind. Crummell pleading his case. It was interesting by Lord. At every metre as he came up to the man on the mark. Lawrence with White.
It's a good tag, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who instigated that? Who was there first? Von Regan is down there. Now this ball is going out of bounds without being touched. So suddenly the Dockers, after we sang their praises at half-time,
it's our fault.
looking very ordinary. Here's Daniel Chick.
Saying anything?
No. Hard against the fence. Runs around now. Crosses the boundary line, I guess, to get to the other side. Kicks towards the pocket, off hands. Behind.
Again, Brendan Crummell, the player, almost getting his hands long enough on the footy to hold on to it.
Well, goal next by the Hawks would put them in front for the first time today. Chisholm kicks to himself this time. Move it around the commentary box side of the oval. Well, they could have raffled that. Paul Salmon and Platten were there for 11. Centering kick from him. Marcus taken by Gibson. Also starting to come into his own in the third quarter. Good vision. Lord underneath it. Couldn't take the grab. Kick it and McCabe. It was Crawford actually. And the ball out of bounds. Still about 50 metres from Hawthorn's goal. 9-8 to 8-9. 62 to 57 in favour of the Dockers.
Jeff White is back on. Daniel Bandy off.
Chant goes up. Tallis knocks it down. Comes to Harford. Chick over the top of Harding. Couldn't complete the mark. Now Lord across his body. Snaps. Dunstall. Will he let it go? He was going to. He thought it was going to bounce through. It propped. And that gave O'Reilly the chance to knock it through for a rush behind.
Yeah, it's very tough to make a decision on what you should do there, Pete. And Dunstall was restricted to try and hold O'Reilly off. But as you mentioned, the ball just sitting up too high. Fortunately for the Dockers.
Approaching three-quarter time. The Dockers have got the breeze. They've added only 3 points.
It's twice
straight
now.
to Salmon. Salmon, the short one to Platten. I doubt he could kick it from here.
Not a bad kick. That brought him off.
Wasn't doing that, but he'll take a good one. John Platten, right on the 50. Let's fly. A distance. He's tucked it left. So he could have been in front now. It's been a great comeback by the Hawks. They were terrific on this ground 12 months ago. Bandy watching proceedings now. O'Reilly, chip pass to the pocket. Here's Harding. He's been busy. Obviously they wanted to bring that game plan from last year with them this season. Ken Judge would have been most upset at half-time. They haven't implemented or hadn't implemented it up until then, but now it really is enforced. Down goes Norrish, the victim of the strong tackle, and that's the essence of it. Pressure, tackling, chasing from behind. And the Dockers looking very mediocre after looking special at times in the first half.
Paul Salmon must be wearing a mask. They don't recognise him. They've kicked to him about 3 times. The Dockers coming out defence.
It's
knocked down by White. Sorry, Pete.
Skies, I was about to say.
Probably they don't notice him. Back on the wing, Mitchell towards the boundary line. Platten trying to pick his pocket. It's out of bounds.
3-5 the Hawks have added this quarter. Dockers goals. We spoke of those tackles. We saw a number of Dockers, and I think the count was about 4, just run down from behind by Hawthorn players. That certainly lifted the side. Salmon and White. When it gets an effective tap out. Treleaven scoops it up, intended for Platten. Mitchell was in the road. Norrish goes hard at the football. Still he goes. Back it comes to Callaghan. Wills. One kick off one step. Kicks to centre half forward. Marking contest down there. Lekis loops the hand pass. Harford around Delaney. Clever. Coops can't catch him. Bombs it up towards a contest on centre wing. Norrish runs into Treleaven and also Gibson. Ball jarred free. The umpire has found the free kick and it's going Hawthorn's way. So the Hawks to go into attack again as the clock ticks down. Just over 2 minutes left before three-quarter time. Here's the free kick, as judged by the umpire. The kick comes up towards centre half forward. Crawford went without it. Likewise Chisholm. He was tackled well. Tallis kicks towards a man in possession down there. That's Crummell.
He's got Crawford free, Pete.
Crawford in front, or Harding in front of him. Just blocked him. Lord trying to get around onto the right foot. He's going to have a bounce. Crawford provides the shepherd. He kicks it goal. Has he missed that? I think he has. Dear, oh dear. 2 metres out. Makes the difference 2 points.
Did everything right, just walked around, settled. And then with Stephen O'Reilly just holding his ground and just forcing him to kick rather than running at him too quickly, he pulled it. Ben Allen is back on the ground for the Dockers. Back on a half-forward flank.
Chisholm kicks in, goes for distance towards the outer side. The top White trying to help the ball on its way. Holland nicely done. Gibson, quick hands. Chick closing. Charged down by Parker. Was that in the back? I thought so. Nothing doing. He had a bounce about 45 metres out. Okay, the last man to get up there.
Free kicks are pretty even, Dennis. They're 12 to Fremantle, 11 to the Hawks.
Not too many. That's about 8 per umpire, if that. Callahan on the boot, back towards midfield. Treleaven beaten to it by Leach, who backed himself against the ball. Gibson fell over. Chick again, nicely done. There's Harford, all quality from 45. Just upended in the act of kicking. It was timely as far as the Dockers were concerned. It affected the kick.
Well, he was probably trying to be too much of the consummate team player then too, because he had the chance just to go straight at goal, and he looked at options about 15 metres in front of goal to pass the ball off. In doing so, just hesitated that bit and was under pressure.
McManus, one-handed, not good enough. O'Reilly had it knocked away by Salmon. Sockers it out wide. Harford runs to 35, measures the kick. The Dockers claim it was touched. The field umpire gives the all clear. It's a goal.
Hawthorn in front for the first time.
Yes, Craig Callahan still taking up the argument with the umpire that the ball was touched. We'll see this again. The kick in from Chisholm. McManus just can't hang on to it. O'Reilly dispossessed Salmon cleverly off the ground. And then Harford, Callahan coming across him saying it was touched. The umpire had nothing to do with it. It's hard to tell from here.
Hard to tell for the goal umpire as well. Half a minute before three-quarter time. Hawthorn have kicked 4-7 in this quarter. The Dockers have added just 3 behinds. So certainly the Hawks' term. Callahan, can the Dockers get one just on the siren? Allen back onto the ground. Robran, a little give. Oh, great tackle there by Abraham. That brought Scott undone. Now Norris from outside 50 will need to be a bomb. Graham gets himself back to take the mark over man. Hassel makes him a lead in the pocket, but he's only about 12 metres away. He's going to go longer. He can kick long. There's Salmon again. Great mark by the Fish right on the three-quarter time siren. 11 marks, 13 kicks and 4 handballs to Salmon. And he and Harford certainly have been the dominant players for the Hawks. Harford 20-6 with 6 marks.
Full tackle. From Neesham's point of view, too many turnovers, too many errors. He wants someone to do something. He wants someone to stand up.
Well, White jumps up and thumps it forward. Here's Platten, though, on the receiving end. Boots it down towards half forward. Good bouncing ball. Kick it comes at it. Sockers off the ground. McManus couldn't hang on. Goes again. Put the boot in. Well played. Callahan goes off the ground. Playing the percentages. It goes out wide and trickles across the line.
And Ken Judge only got caught out there, Dennis, just before the ball was bounced. He had 19 men on the ground and had to quickly get Luke McCabe off. Obviously, someone got their instruction confused at three-quarter time.
Not a bad tactic. Salmon from behind Bandy. Played by Callahan initially. Storming through Tallis. Feeds it off to Platten. Platten down towards the 50. Chisholm fisting away. Platten's got it, but well out of bounds, as you can see. So a boundary throw in, everything to play for. One of these sides, at the end of the day, will be undefeated. Hawthorn by 5 points currently.
Could have been very costly. Hawthorn have been found out with 19 players on the ground. You lose your score. I can't remember the last time.
Still got to line them up and count them, though.
That's right, you do. I think it happened at Windy Hill 20, 30 years ago. And they're all in the clear. Harding is as well. Two Hawks outnumber Abraham. Salmon off the ground. The Hawks best. He and Harper dragging them back from a long way behind. Wills takes it over the line, and it will be thrown in on centre wing. The ball virtually crossing the ground. So a throw in next to the interchange gates where McCabe waits. He very quickly had to get off the ground. He left like a store gift winner before the siren started the quarter. Luckily for the Hawks, Platten dives in, Wills with him. Rather able to come up with a possession. And the Rat helped up by Crawford. Gives it back to the umpire. Greg Scroop to put it down. Centre wing. White against the Fish. Norrish, well shepherded. And a great kick, wobbles it up towards half forward. Lawrence off the ground for Hawthorn. Treleaven, clear of Leach. Kick only travels about 30 metres. The bouncing ball favours Jones in the end. Shepherded by Chisholm. Abraham on his own. Treleaven closing, one bounce. Bandy provides the shepherd. Awkward looking kick up towards full forward. Doesn't reach its target. Allen, the former Hawk, dragged down by Scott. Did he have the football? Hawthorn players appear for holding the ball.
Allen punched that, because if he didn't, surely he was holding the ball.
Well, it's holding the man, but he's saying to the umpire there that he actually just handballed the ball away quickly. It's a very quick one. Oh. And if he did handball, he's going to be get a free kick for being held on to.
One or the other.
So a bounce. Scott, will he go off the ground? He will. Gets it back to Lekas, who runs out of bounds in front of Wills and the boundary umpire, and it will be thrown in.
And that's why we have that's why we have so few free kicks.
Never been a fan of three umpires. See no reason to change. Thrown outside the 50. Bandy and Lawrence. Bandy works his way in front. Allen got a hand to it. Look at Platten work. Lost it though. Callahan 60 metres out. Down towards the pocket. Good defence. Graham reached over the top. Man goes on. And applies a tackle. That was good footy. Got Harper down very quickly. So good stuff all around. And throw in almost directly on the 50. Bandy and Lawrence again. Bandy back towards the middle. Treleaven missed it. Allen likewise. Winston didn't take it with him. Platten did. The hand pass is good. Into space. Tallis around the outer side. Kicks and bounces it out. If that was his objective, he played it very well. So boundary throw in. The bulk of the players really working double time to get over there. There's McKay back on the ground, but the ruckman having to sprint to get there in time, despite the fact they were hanging back. White goes up. Mitchell knocked it in front. And a little toe poke. Leach, nicely done to Wills. Forward of the wing towards the pocket, and Parker. And Parker's got it about 40 metres out. Now he's got two, and this for the lead is a very important kick.
Yes, it'll just be his fourth kick. He opened up pretty well with 2 goals in the first quarter, but has seen very little of the footy since.
Not easy here because the breeze is pushing away from goal, so it has to be very precise. Has to be kicked hard. Here's the problem. The breeze just carries it across the face, but man in the opposite pocket has come up with it. He can run around, sees a man on in the square, goes in short to Bandy. Oh, he needed to be careful. He squeezes it out, as my colleague would say, and gets it.
Not me, Dennis.
No, I know.
And that's the advantage of running those two taller players in tandem. And while Steve Lawrence is accountable for Bandy, Paul Samuel's in the vicinity, but neither one of them are able to get back and just check. And Peter Mann did the right thing there, just getting the ball off quickly to very quickly on. Dangerously in the end, got away with it.
Dockers get their first goal since the second quarter, and they take the lead again, but only by 1 point, 10-8 to 9-13. The thriller at Subiaco. Both sides some thrillers last week. Both won them. One's going to come off second best this afternoon. Callahan from the square. Chips it up towards full forward. Man couldn't complete the grab. Allen goes after it. Treleaven goes after him. The boundary line's too close. It'll be thrown in 65 metres out from the Dockers attacking goal. Just which way will it go? Great third quarter by the Hawks. They kept their opponents goalless. Dockers getting first blood in the final term. Bandy and Salmon. Below decks is Harford. Harford's kick. White, the big leap, couldn't complete it. Kick it in front, can't complete the mark, nearly holding the ball. But as we've mentioned a few times before, free kicks are harder to come by than Lotto wins today. 12-11, and I don't think that's changed for a while, Roscoe.
No, it hasn't.
Bounce just outside the square. Holland up high, Harding, Crummell. Long looping hand pass, not really to the advantage of his side. Good tackle by Norris. Lord goes down with the football. Comes up with the football. He's caught. Ping holding the ball. No. Yes, it is. Finally a free kick. Mitchell to Scotty Chisholm. No one within cooey of him. Chick finally gives chase. And we've got a foot race out here. Chisholm, still he goes. Great run. Great kick. Allen was the target. It's out of bounds. Rebounding off Parker, but the Dockers moving the ball pretty quickly in the throw-in now, 65 metres on their right half-forward flank.
Exciting passage of play, that one. Here's the time remaining and the margin. Dockers in front. Hawthorn finishing on the breeze after a wonderful third term. Wide of the pack, Tallis slipped over. Still Tallis, well played to Platten, goes with the left boot. Player has hurt himself out there, that's Gibson. Not sure whether that's an ankle or a hamstring. Didn't see what led to that. There's been some contact with his opponent as they took off, but he's down clutching what appears to be his calf, actually. So, no contact.
Pretty clear, Dennis, wasn't
yeah.
it? Just as if something's torn as he's taken off.
Well, we figured earlier, close to the boundary, remember that slip he took?
On this side?
Thought, that's right.
Yeah, calf or Achilles by the looks of it for Shannon Gibson on his right leg.
Luck.
Geez, it might have been Achilles.
They're the worst.
Yeah, stretcher definitely. He's got to come out.
So the game is held up. And again, a serious injury. Or what appears to be one coming off very much a run-of-the-mill play. How often do we see that?
Chris Mainwaring yesterday seemed almost an innocuous incident, didn't it?
Yeah.
Just have another look at this again. On the right of screen, he's certainly clear of anyone, and it's probably the 3 or 4 paces before we got full camera on that he's torn that.
In the meantime, the Dockers are making a change. Delaney's going to come back on for Winston Abraham down there. No, it was Mitchell.
Yeah.
So the stretcher has to go the width of the ground here at Subiaco Oval. Right on the outer wing. I made the point, Shannon Gibson slipped in rather ungainly fashion earlier in the game. Must have been the second turn, just down in front of our commentary position. Didn't appear to be too bad, but was a little ginger after that. And from memory, it could have been the same leg. So
yes, that one seemed to be a bit higher too, Dan. So we thought, as we see Ben Allen coming off and Coops back on, which I perhaps might have left the ex-skipper back on the field. It looked as if the injury there, if there was going to be one for Gibson, was a bit higher. Perhaps around the hamstring area, but again, the proliferation of major injuries from what seems to be fairly standard procedure. And they're going to take him straight off the ground, obviously.
Still a fair walk to the race. I'm trying to work out what part of his leg he was actually holding. It's
a couple of times I saw his hand go down to his around his ankle, Achilles area, Pete. So Darren Pritchard is back on the ground. See him on screen there.
It's been a busy interchange today. Shannon Gibson, the cause of the most recent interchange as far as the Hawks are concerned. Jared Measham likes to toss them about, looking for some sort of advantage. As we said, Coops back on the ground now on the forward line. We can only wish this young man all the best. Terrible sight. Winning football ground, player coming off on a stretcher. And generous applause.
And the skipper, who's been through a similar thing, just touching him and saying, "Bad luck, mate."
Well, let's hope it's not The knee.
It's a hollow feeling for the players on the ground as well. It's a real dampener, isn't it? Suddenly
you are so helpless, you can't do a thing about it.
And you feel for the guy, and as in Dunstall's case, he's been down that path before himself. Nothing you can do as a teammate. You've got to get back to it quickly and snap back into concentration. Salmon did. Got it down to Tallis, who boots it high. Kickett got a hand to it. Sliding in his Crummel. He's tried hard this afternoon. The umpire wants it.
11-3 for Brendan Crummel, former Docker, albeit briefly, played just, I think it was the one game. Had a few injury problems at that stage of his career. White slaps it down. Dockers work it away through McManus. Not very far. Norris grabs Harford, maybe just a little bit too high. White appealing for a free kick. Latin on the ground. So a rather untidy passage of play. 10-8 to 9-13.
If the first option was given, then you clear the area, but he just hung on to the ball far too long, gets pinged, and then you have a pack situation. 1
point the difference in favour of the home side. I would have thought that at half-time. Parker gets it past Salmon. Norris looks for a free kick. Now well shepherded, they've finally played one.
He's grabbed by Salmon, Pete, before he had the footy.
Mason Norris looks for Bandy.
He's got to come back, Pete. Umpire Andrew Malcolm, it is, just saying that he wasn't behind his mark when he took that kick, so he's going to straighten him up and go back to the same spot.
Mason Norris again. 20 games for Melbourne. At right centre wing. Kicks to the same area. No mark taken. There's another free kick. Someone was being held. It's another Dockers free kick, so they're coming in a flood now. It's going to be a Bandy kick. Bandy at right centre wing. Just a little bit forward of that area. Back to Norris, so they're sharing it around. Dockers by the narrowest of margins. Still plenty of time for either side to really sew up this game. Low scoring affair. It's a real hospital job, that one. Coops nearly man smothered by Scott. Tackled by McCabe. Robran runs into a teammate and an opponent. Pretty untidy football down there. Tallis finally. Boot the ball quickly. It bounces kindly for Harford. Harford straight down the ground. Chick in front. Couldn't complete it. Jones at the back. Handball to no one in particular. Parker finally on the burst. And Callahan a quick kick.
Out to White. Delaney is on for the hand pass. He's got it now, Delaney. Right half forward. Looking down towards full forward. Decides to go for distance. Will's drifting in behind the leading players. Got hands to it. Falls in front. Coops twisting and turning. Going nowhere. Tallis grabs it. Smothered off the boot. Abraham surrounded. Throws it towards goal. The mark is taken by Robran. Wasting no time to Lord. Back come the Hawks. They trail by a point. Aaron Lord running it up towards the wing. Good evasion by Callahan. They need to track him. Still Lord. About 3 pursuers. He's run well over 100 metres now. Lord down towards the attacking 50. So often the way. Long searching run. And you cough up the ball.
Back the turnover now.
Yep. White. Leach has it through the middle. They're exposed to Hawthorn. White has it towards half forward. Abraham works in front. Great defence down there from Leckers, knocked it away. The crumbs come across to McManus. Measures the kick from 55. Bacon goal square. Will it run on? Yes. Goal.
Yeah, you're quite right, Dennis. You see those searching runs so often. Probably 7 or 8 times out of 10. The delivery when the players run 50, 60, 70 metres. Tries to pinpoint a pass or direct the ball to the advantage of a teammate. It doesn't get there. The opposition either chips in and takes up the space. And then, of course, with everyone just lagging behind, the ball turns over and you get a scoring opportunity the other end. In this case, McManus, a very good left foot goal.
So some breathing space for the Dockers now. 7 points is their lead. 74 to 67. Plenty of time for the Hawks to come back. Punched up to their half-forward line. Parker to Harding. Been good across half-back. McManus says go wide, and he does. Tries to find Leach. Platten and an Airy. He might get a chance to make amends. Brushes the Leach tackle. The Rats kick short of half-forward. He's picked out McManus. Should have held the mark. Certainly should have taken that one. Wills tries to help him out. Back to Harding. Chick late with his tackle. Man, good mark in front of Graham. The skipper's kick. Out to Parker. He marks just outside 50. Dockers lifting their work rate. Abraham couldn't mark it. He's got a free kick against Leckers.
It's amazing, the umpire's group who paid the mark was in the middle third of the ground. Umpire David Ackland, who was supposed to adjudicate in that area, just refused to put his whiffle near his mouth. Look, the umpire, you can't quite see him on screen, he's just to the right. There he is. Nothing doing.
Didn't
not even look like it.
No. Now he's run to the middle third of the ground very quickly.
So that's why you only need 2 umpires.
Exactly.
I'm not going to say it's that.
Well, they haven't been terrific today.
Well, let's see if he can kick better than he did last week. He missed 2 absolute sitters, Winston Abraham, last week at Optus Oval. Much closer in than here. He probably kicked this one. The way it goes, he kicked the winning goal, of course. Maybe he's done it again. His first goal today.
Yes, he hasn't done a whole lot today, Winston Abraham, but he's the sort of player that can just burst onto the game. Parker's looked at his rating. That's Daniel Parker in this last quarter. And he did the right thing by passing off. Certainly interference there coming from Angelo Leckers.
So the margin is 13 points. Fremantle with the last couple of goals. White and Salmon knocked down by White. Tapped through there by Wills to Norris to Jones. He's been resolute, but he misses the target with a hand pass. Hawthorn, who's been tremendous. Back to Platten. Good final turn from him. High floater. They come from all directions. Crummell almost. Harding goes after it. Chisholm to his own advantage. Still he goes. Crummell slides in. They tie it up. Interesting, just taking that debate about umpires a little further. That last one is a classic, I think, because it wasn't about, I know if we talk to our umpiring friends, they'll say they both had a different angle. And I think that's rubbish. I mean, it was a question of interpretation, both within 15 metres, a player bearing down on another in a marking situation, and they saw it differently. And that's the worry as far as supporters and clubs are concerned. Doesn't matter who was right. Effectively stopped by the umpire there, as if on cue. McKay grabbed. Wills comes away. Despairing lunge missed him from Crummell. Kick to midfield. Almost the mark there to Abraham. Coming away Tallis. Well played. Slaps it forward. Going in his man. Didn't look at the ball. Down went Lord. McKay. Tallis got the hand pass away. Now a free kick is going to the Dockers. Didn't see what that was for. And it's going to Callaghan.
I'm with you there.
Leckers, who came through initially, has done a few good things in defence.
Play on his own. Jones stood out like the proverbial. Goes this way, that way. It's around Graham. Dockers forward line pretty open at the moment. That wasn't the case in the third quarter. Parker. 13 points is the margin now. A goal here, you would reckon they would just about be safe. Fairly low scoring affair. No, that's a boomer. Quite make the distance. Not Bandy, it's Coops. Now Bandy. He's kicked that one. The Dockers are just about there. 3 goals to Daniel Bandy. 13-8 to 9-13. And the Dockers, after taking the breather in the third quarter, have found a second win.
Yes, and Daniel Parker's featured a bit too. I was going to make a comment earlier in the game who seemed to be a bit slow reading the opportunity down the field in terms of making his lead, but he certainly made up for this last quarter. And Bandy with his second in the last, been an important player, if not throughout the course of the day.
So it's 19 points. Ken Judge must be tearing his hair out, because after that brilliant third term, again they've gone back to a rather slipshod method of the Hawks. The game plan that clearly was successful for them has been thrown out. There's an opportunity for Cork. I thought he was pushed in the back as he kicked. And that's the decision. Out of bounds on the full. There's Judge, I think. Hard to see behind that glass. Chisholm's got the free. Play one towards half back. Wouldn't like to be under that. White, big fist. Not the place to put it, back towards the middle. Harford, silky skills, gets it across to McCabe. Floats it inside the 50. Well read there by Chisholm. No contest.
It wasn't. Over the head of Pritchard, that'll find Harding marking in front of Taras. McManus. O'Reilly. Dockers will try to work the ball. A little bit early to do just that, just like Essendon did against Carlton. This is Norris. They'll try to retain possession as much as possible. Harper dragged high. The Hawks will finally get a free kick. It will come back to arguably their best player, he and Paul Salmon, who've stood out head and shoulders above the rest. Salmon, literally. Crummell. Wills attempts to run him down, did well. There's Salmon, can't complete the mark. Then Mitchell to kick it. Pritchard pressuring him. Platten. Norris nearly gets him. Back to Graham. He can kick long. That's a bomb. O'Reilly would kick it underneath it. So too is Chick, but it's out of bounds. Not on the full. It will be a throw-in in Hawthorn's left forward pocket. They need 4 goals to win the match. Pretty hard to see that happening with only 6.5 minutes remaining. And that's a surprise after a brilliant third quarter. White and Salmon. White with the big leap. Pritchard and Norris. Graham. And they buy a goal. Harper. He's been good. Terrific play. Over the head of Salmon. Dunstall has it punched away from him by O'Reilly, and the Dockers are away. Wills needs to sit for him. He nearly got cannoned into by Leach.
Just as well he went to ground.
Let's go down to Adrian, who has some injury news for us.
Yeah, but according to the Hawthorn physio, Shannon Gibson has a badly rolled ankle. I saw him, he was in a lot of pain, and it must be pretty bad. Safe to say he'll take no further part in the game, unfortunately.
Just under 6 minutes till full time. The Dockers on top. White taps it down. McCabe. Trelevin back to McCabe. Slips it out White. Here's a chance for Platten. Needs a bounce. Gets it. Almost. He's on the wing now, Johnny Platten. Confronted once and again. Mitchell in pursuit. Platten back towards the middle. Trelevin intent on drawing a man. Tallis. Trelevin. Short one is on to Chick. Still got time. Daniel Chick about 55 metres out. He's a pretty good kick. They can goal square behind Dunstall. Holland is drifting back with Norris. Not a bad option. Still on. Goes down in that direction. Too long. And too long on both counts, I would suggest.
Yes, that's the one they needed. Needed to score a goal from that opportunity to give themselves some chance.
Norris hugs the boundary line with his kick. Tavis missed it, socked away by McManus. Wills gathered some pace over the summer. Very fit. Lovely ball. Cops one from Trelevin. Still he goes. Bandy. Great stretch. Test out your hammies.
Isn't he just growing his stature as the seasons roll on? I think as Andrew Wills just looks for a penalty there, but the kick was and the acceleration of Bandy to make up ground at this stage of the game as White comes off and trying to come on. Good stuff.
8th in the best and fairest last year, and he missed virtually the last half of the season. Daniel Bandy we're speaking of. 49 metres. He kicks and he has missed. So he has to settle for a minor score. 3 goals, 1. Part of his copybook. 13-9 to 9-13, so a question of accuracy at least on the scoreboard. Time you would feel he's just about run out for the Hawks. Robin, man behind. Trelevin around the boundary. Graham in front. Callaghan. Norris again. He's been pretty good. Jones. McCabe tries to apply a tackle. Ball still in play. Now it's brought to a halt. I suppose the Hawks will go back to the drawing board and think, well, one good quarter isn't going to win a match. It shouldn't win a match. Probably won't win them today. Platt runs out of room, runs out of bounds. Tackle down there by Craig Callaghan, and we'll see a throw.
Platten, who started well, he's finished well, but quiet the second and third terms. Salmon and Bandy, two of the best on the ground, falls behind the pair of them. Bandy falling to the deck, gets it away. Callahan, busy player, towards the wing. Lekis over the ball, still he goes. Lekis going away from his own goal. Abraham, Lekis a strong tackle, forced the error. Lawrence to 11 out wide. Crummel, nicely done. Lekis again, good pressure. Clement got there. He was penalised. Well, free kick goes to the Dockers, and they waste no time. Down
No,
the
it's going to come back, Dennis.
It's coming back,
yeah.
is it?
Yeah, Clement has to take the free kick. Nothing changes, though.
Goes to Abraham. So Abraham's got it. He's about 75 metres out from goal. Pops it up to honour the lead. Parker bounced off his chest. Lekis comes away. Lekis from the defensive 50 out towards the wing. Then Salmon still going. Bounces away from him frustratingly. Lawrence off the ground. Woods back on.
20 points is the margin in favour of the Dockers. So they're about to reverse the thumping they got from Hawthorn this ground last year. Platten again. The rebound came from Hoban. Chick grabs his opponent down there. Scotty Chisholm. Chisholm still goes. Bumped as he kicked over the line in front of Clement and Graham, and so a throw in 70 metres from Hawthorn's goal. But time has run out for the Hawks today. Their good third quarter is not going to be enough. The Dockers goalless. Certainly their accuracy left a little bit to be desired in that term. Probably could have led by a lot more. Harper to Woods. Harper has knocked up getting possessions this afternoon. Dunstall better by the run, certainly. He's kicked 3 goals today. 3 goals, 1 after being held goalless last week, but it's not going to be enough from the Hawk veteran.
Could be their first score for the quarter, Pete, which is in contrast to their third quarter.
9-13, that's right. They haven't scored. Maybe the heat took its toll. A better quarter by the Dockers has certainly helped. Dunstall from 45. It is their first score. It is a goal. Dunstall kicks his 4th.
And that's a commendable effort, really, given the circumstances that, as Pete mentioned, Dunstall just his second game after that reconstruction, and he's certainly a player that's hard to stop. O'Reilly has done a terrific job all day, and it's been aided by the ability of the players up the field just to reduce the number of opportunities coming forward. 4 goals on average per game. Any full forward would be happy with that.
Jason Dunstall, the first man to kick 5 goals in a game between Fremantle and Hawthorn, so he's in the record books again. On his standards, only a moderate record, but what a terrific comeback it's been. Back in the middle, Harford spinning, twisting, getting away. The Hawks still keep on coming. Lord down towards the attacking 50. Chick, Platten quickly onto the boot, tumbles it down towards full forward. Clement gets back, and that should just about snuff out any hope for the Hawks, although Kickett had to wait a long time. Graham has tried so hard. He's been another good player for them. And Kickett, a little sleight of hand, runs away then. High floated towards the wing. Big leap from Tallis at the back. He thumps it out of bounds. So inside the last minute of this game, just a reminder, talking footy in Melbourne on Monday at 8:30. Of course, a Monday game. We've got Carlton against North Melbourne. Check your local guides around Australia. Special guests include Phil Carman and Wayne Carey. Close to the boundary, McManus. Pretty good afternoon from him. Back towards the middle. And a good mark is taken by Mann.
There was a good mark. That was really floating in the air, that kick. He judged it well. Harpert, just looking at his stats while you were doing the call there, Dennis, 36 possessions, Daniel Harpert. In anybody's language, that's a good afternoon's work. This guy's done pretty well too.
He has, Pete.
Bandy. Kicks to Coops. Still learning the game. About 70 metres out, he's got onto that one. Not really accurate though. And it's out of bounds in the Dockers left forward pocket.
It's probably just the one area, Pete, today that has let him down. Just having got the ball, not really done a lot with it, given the talent that he does have. 14
points the difference, I'm sure he'll learn. Holland to Platten. Well, the Rat has tried, which you would always expect him to do. There's the siren as Robin's kick lands into the arms of Trelevin. The Dockers have come back after the Hawks came at them during the third quarter. They trailed at three-quarter time by 5 points, but they restricted Hawthorn to just the one goal in the final quarter. And they have run out winners by 14 points, 13-9, 87, defeating a gallant Hawthorn side 10-13, 73.